People, once again, how you doing? It's your boy here from Diaspora and African News Info Connect, bringing you your daily news and your daily happenings around the world. Now, today, my update is in regards to a YouTuber who I've been paying quite close attention to, who goes by the name of the unapologetic negropean. So basically, I've been following this guy for quite some time now, where because he's based in the UK as well as myself, and today he had interview, a interview, or they had a little um, YouTuber, vlogging conversation back to back, and it was with I think it was with this American YouTuber by the name of Go Back to Africa. I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. And basically, I just picked out a few things in regards to this, in regards to this interview, this meeting that these two had, and it's basically pointed to the unapologetic negropean. What I mean, studying the guy. I've watched a few of his videos. I know a couple of his vlogs, and I mean, to be honest with you, I like him. I do quite, but there is a few things which I've seen as well, which is taking me off a bit. Now, the things that I do like is I recall going through his channels, and he was talking in regards of the Lebanese and how they mistreat blacks, and he when that big explosion happened, I think it was late last year or something like that. He wasn't really sympathetic towards that nation of people there, and I don't blame him. That nation of people are quite a horrible people. They can be horrible to dark skin blacks, especially us dark skinned ones from Africa. And basically, you know, I think with the, I would like to, explain how I perceive the unapologetic Negropean. Basically, I think with him, he is someone who has just come strongly into the conscious being, the conscious black being. I can tell he was possibly someone who was not conscious at some point when he met his wife. So, I mean, yeah, you can tell that, I do feel for the guy. He's coming into the conscious being and he's fighting and doing something for us brothers now because he's coming into the conscious being. But in regards to all that pro black stuff, you can't really say you're pro black. You can't be pro black. You have to be in the program. Do you understand? You have to be in that mindset. Everything has to be pro black. That's what we mean by pro black. Your wife, your kids, that's a person who's pro black. But we have to give the brother some slack. I mean, I could tell he wasn't a conscious brother. He met his wife, and something clicked, and he's a conscious brother now. So that's my take. I'm gonna put a video out about the discussion between Go Back to Africa and the unapologetic Negropean. So check it out, and please do subscribe. Thank you. Hey, happy Christmas.
Okay, we are in and we are live right now. All right, family, we here as promised. We have the unapologetic negropean who is here. So
Me.
as people start to come in here, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to start off, of course, what I typically do. This is your man, not your boy, Gold Black to Africa. So as the people are coming in, um, yeah, interesting top subject that we're going to have here today because I thought it was very interesting. There we go. Numbers coming in. I thought it was very interesting for those who saw my video that when I mentioned the unapologetic negropean in there, he reached out to me and he wanted to clear the air. He wanted to, I guess, bring some clarity in his position, what his mission may be. And so I really, be honest with you. And can I call you your first name? I'm not
James.
sure. Yeah,
You can call me
James.
James. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Um, I was apprehensive, really, James, in wanting to do this because of, I did a couple other interviews. I'm not sure if you saw just as well as you did the interviews with the Quasies and the Phoenix and all them there. So, did that there.
Yeah.
And it really left me in a place to where I was trying to bring some reconciliation amongst those folks.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not want to go down that road. And so I decided that I was going to continue down a direction that I knew in my heart that I wanted to do, and that was bringing the awareness and educating the people on the motherland of Africa. Now, I'll say that, I came across your channel probably about 3 months or so ago. And I remember doing a video, and you responded to one of my videos that I did. It was the Art Kathy video that I did a compilation of her singing, and you said, "Wow, you must have went through a lot of her videos to be able to
Yeah.
come up with."
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's been a ton of videos. Very
Yeah, I did.
boom, boom, boom.
I put some time in there. And then that's
Mm-hmm.
when I brought me to your videos, and I said, okay, this guy's been around a few months and all that right there. And I'll be honest with you, you did some things on with Bag and R. Kathy, and I thought that you did it injustice because when you was trying to figure out their names or where they were from, I said, wow, this guy here, he didn't do his homework, you know. But as time went on, I started to see some growth in you, and you started doing some background and information. And I question a lot of your motives. I question a lot of why you, in particular, particularly rather, were setting out to, I guess, bring to the forefront brothers and sisters who are YouTubers who are on the continent and wanted to bring either to expose them or to I don't know, bring some darkness upon them. I don't know what it was, but I kind of sat back and I said, well, hey, you have your own channel, you have your own direction. I believe everybody has a mission in life, and if that's where you're going down the road, that's where you're going down the road. But before I even get deep into some of that right there, I'm gonna give you the floor right here to introduce yourself. And also, I know one of the biggest things that, to include myself, people want to know about this title that you have, the unapologetic negropean,
Mm-hmm.
which is really a derogatory connotation in itself from where coming from America, negropean, and then with unapologetic, seeming a little arrogance at what one says that he don't have to apologize for anything. But anyway, floor is yours. Please introduce yourself, and I appreciate you reaching out to me, man, and us doing this, and hopefully we can bring some clarity for you, but clarity for even other people out there. So go ahead.
Oh, well, thank you for accepting. It's well appreciated. Yeah, the channel is the unapologetic negropean, and what do I do? Well, it's in the bio. To be honest with you, it's there for everybody to see. So, why do I call it the unapologetic negropean? It's simply because, like it says in the bio, it was a name which is kind of a paradox. It's supposed to tell people essentially that um, there are other ethnicities out there that are beyond the African American ethnicity, and we do deserve our say. We do deserve to have our points of views and our opinions put upon the African continent. It's not just all about the African Americans. There are some 30 million African Americans, but I wanted to show people, hey, I'm going to call myself a negropean. Why? Well, because there are another 1.2 billion Africans who don't see things the same way as the African Americans do. So why should we just follow the same thing and go by what they say? So basically, that's what it was all about. It was about saying, okay, we've got the African Americans who are the most the most powerful, most influential African ethnicity probably on the planet at the moment. Okay, we still exist as a people, Afro-Caribbeans, and also, you know, I don't know. I think the word negropean itself, the fact that it was made in America, and then its meaning was also made in America. It was like as if, hey, there are black people in Europe, but we don't care. We don't care about what you think. We're going to label you. We're going to label this, and it's going to mean this. And yeah, well, there are black people in Europe, but so be it. So I didn't like that. And I don't think it's fair for black people who live in Europe to be slammed with that title, because not everybody, not every African ethnicity know that the unapologetic, sorry, that negropean is a bad word. It's just African Americans, and that was the reason behind me calling myself that. And calling myself unapologetic was simply because I wanted to put my point of view over in a strong manner, but also I wanted it to be somewhat diplomatic. So I started the channel some 9 months ago, and it was all about my opinions, essentially. And it's sort of morphed into what it is today. So at the beginning, I was simply looking into certain things that were happening throughout the diaspora. And a few months ago, I stumbled on, this massive fraudulent type of activity that was happening in West Africa with diasporans essentially being preyed upon by a group of criminals. There are a group of criminals. I won't mention any names because I don't want to say the word alleged, but there are groups of criminals, organized criminals, who are finessing African Americans, British Jamaicans, Canadian Jamaicans, just everybody throughout the diaspora who wants to reconnect, who want to go back to Africa, who want to go and live back in Africa, but want somebody there that they can trust, that they believe in. And you've got these people smooth talking themselves into people's wallets online. And then once those people from the diaspora move to Africa, the services are way below par, sometimes non-existent, sometimes the money gets totally taken by these people. They don't get anything for it. There have been people who have lost their entire life savings, and that really hit home. That did, because it's difficult for us to make this kind of. Yeah.
Let me ask you this question, because I don't want to get too far there, because I mean, I wanted to kind of even add on or ask a question or two about your name, because like I said, you know, that's been a concern to some people. Because you mentioned about the Negro. What's the pen about? Because when we talk about the European, we know that, okay, well, of course, you know, I had to do my homework on you too, right? So, you know, hey, that's what journalism and reporting is all about. I went to one of your videos, right? And you said when you were younger, you had a love for Black culture, okay? You actually stated that you went to America when you was the age of 16, all right?
17.
Which I did not know. You went to America the age of 16. How long was you there in America?
Was there a little over 4 years.
A little over 4 years. Now, there's a rumor out there that you kind of got deported or something like that out of America. Is there any truth to that?
It's not a rumor. I made a video about it. It's just that
I missed
people,
that video.
Yeah, no, I made a whole video about it. I explained to people what happened. But yeah, that happened. I was deported from the United
Yeah.
States back in oh, I can't remember, 1997, I believe. And that was, of course, a long time ago. And I was deported for attacking a senator, um,
Attacking a what?
George,
I'm sorry.
a senator. It was an actual
Uh,
senator that I attacked. It was, so that was in New York State, upstate New York, that happened. And um, in the end, me and another gentleman got thrown out of the country. It wasn't just me; it was another gentleman as well. That got thrown out of the country. It wasn't just a random attack. It was a bit over exaggerated, if I need to be honest with you. But um, there was legislation about changing policy towards foreign students. And yeah, me and another gentleman who we were both foreign students, we both got shut out of the country. So it's one of those things.
okay. Yeah, I bring that. I appreciate you. I didn't get that story there, but I
Yeah,
heard that that was a case that was with you.
yeah,
But because I want to get the audience to really understand your title, because I think it, like I said, it brought a negative connotation to you, which kind of people are going to put on the blinders. They're going to close their ears up because they're like, this brother, what we call negropeans in America, sellouts, coons, Uncle Toms, house niggas. These are things that we will call a negropean, one who's crossed over, who wants to still hold on to that so-called black side, but yet, he's a Negro, but then he wants to be a P or, European as well, or carry on and stuff like that. But you did say though, which I got better clarity on why you were using this name, because you said, and I'm referring to my notes here, that you had a love for black culture and you went to America, but you had a secret love affair with European culture. I kind of like how you laid it. You had a secret love affair for European
yeah.
culture in a sense, and because you were there in the UK, I guess you was raised there. Was you born and
Oh, yeah.
raised there? Because
I was born and
you,
raised there. Yeah, I was born
and
in the
then your
UK.
dad from
Yeah,
Jamaica,
parents are
right?
both from Jamaica. Yeah,
Jamaica. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
And so I'm like, okay, all right, I could see, hey, here's this brother here in Europe, he, is in this Western world.
mm,
And of course, there are some probably likes and dislikes that he have grown up to understand his surroundings with people. Okay, I can get it. I get it maybe for this, with the Negropean thing. But can you just give people even a more clear understanding of the Negropean? Because what is your angle or your take on that? I mean, where do you
uh,
side with? Because people are wondering,
I,
this guy is for the other side or whatever. I mean,
I, I can totally understand why African Americans who coined the term in the first place would think that. But like I said, there's another 1.2 billion Africans in the world who didn't coin that term. There are, I think, 30 million African diasporans living in Europe who don't use that term, who don't use
okay,
the words coon and house Negro and all that. All those terms are from the United States of America.
yeah,
We're not in America. We're not American either. So I wanted to show people that, hey, you know, I'm a black person. I was born and raised in Europe, and all of a sudden they've coined this term, Negropean, without any thought of their diasporan brothers and sisters over here in Europe. I mean, and I truly believe that we as a people, if we're trying to understand one another, we should be doing better than using our time and energy and resources to coin derogatory names for ourselves that might offend ourselves. It's ridiculous. So I wanted people to question the name. I wanted people to ask me what is all that about, and I wanted to explain to them my point of view. And so that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. I'm black and from Europe. I don't like the word. So the same way. Um, African Americans don't like the NIGG, that word. We don't like that word in the United States, but you will still see some people call other people that. We still use the term sometimes in the United States, even though, you know, we may say, oh, we own that word now. We shouldn't be using it. So taking that word negropean was about empowering myself, snatching it away and saying, okay, then fine, that's what you're calling us, then fair enough, because you get a lot of people who aren't who no, I'm not just Africans, but many different types of ethnicities and races and people who won't understand the term negropean as you guys see it over there in the United States. They will see it more from my point of view because it's very simple. If you look at those two words, they won't see the negative connotations attached to it. They'll see, oh, okay, he's a Negro and he's European. That's what they'll see. They're not going to say they're not going to look it up and Google it and find the American African American meaning of the word. So that's what I called myself.
I got you. I guess, here lately,
sorry, can I ask you something? I need to do something. Literally 20 seconds. Okay. I need to plug my phone in. It's about to die.
Go ahead.
Okay, give me 1 moment.
Go ahead.
Okay, and I am back. Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, family, he was able to explain, where he got his, how he came up with his name, unapologetic, negropean. There again, it's in the description. He says there, most of your videos that you kind of explain. James, let me ask you this right here, because myself and I know there are others out here who felt that the direction your videos have been going was on the attack of those African Americans who are in the diaspora. And you haven't done videos against white people, the Chinese people, the Indian people, those who you claim have come into Africa to take advantage of the African. And so, is that your direction? I guess is exposing those who the non-Africans or the African Americans in the so-called, as you would say, the heinous crimes they're doing against other people. Is that your direction? Is that your mission, or what have you?
Yeah, well, it's actually, I was more focused on the diasporans who are moving back to Africa and then starting up these tin pot organizations to take advantage of the situation of many diasporans moving back to Africa and needing some sort of organization or people over there that they can trust. They are using that, taking advantage of it. It's diasporans altogether that if you've looked at the videos, it's been British Jamaicans too, multiple British Jamaicans who've been doing that too, who I've made videos about. Just happens to be that there are a lot more African Americans there at this moment, I believe, that I have investigated, that I have seen.
Yeah.
So it's nothing to do with. I think I've more focused towards the diasporans because people, they're taking advantage of the fact that the color of their skin, the fact that they are African diasporans as well. can make it tricky for us. People can look at them and say, we can trust them because they have come from where we come from. Okay. When you're looking at the Chinese and the Europeans that are there, you know, and the Indians, the Lebanese, I mean, I don't attack them because we should know that these people shouldn't be trusted. I mean, if I have to make a video to show people that the that the Europeans, you shouldn't trust the Europeans after their history of colonialism in Africa has been blatantly, you know, everybody knows about that, you know, and you learn from what you know. If you don't know about that, and I don't know, I can't really help you in those terms, but
I'll be
certainly
honest
with,
with you, man. I'll be honest
yeah,
with you.
yeah,
Most Africans here, man, they trust white people.
yeah,
They look at them totally different than how we, to include yourself in the UK and America and around the globe, how these people really are. And
hmm
they look at them like the savior of the world. And so
hmm
when I engage in conversations and ask them, you know, do they even know their history, what they've done around the globe? Do they know the you know, about the, whether it's slavery and the rapes and the robbing, the pillages and the control over, you know, sending missionaries into the camps of ours and you know, all these things, they are clueless for the most part. Not
hmm
those who are might be who have access to researching on the internet or Google, but I'm talking about the majority of the Africans that I engage in conversations, they don't. And so I think people are really concerned about, why are you going hard on these brothers and sisters when you got these Europeans that, and these Chinamen and these Indians and Lebanese? You said it yourself on your videos that we need to be
yeah,
smarter, unite. I think it was a video you did for unity. Um, that we need to unite, and we need to be really focused on that. These people who are coming into the continent to use us.
Well,
So
I'm
I'm
going to
like,
go
why
back
don't you
to
do that?
I'm going to go back first to what you were saying about the Chinese and the Europeans coming in and Africans basically trusting them. Well, let's speak more about the Europeans simply because those are the ones who have that history. I'm not sure if that's a bad thing. I mean, I think many Africans on the continent understand the history of slavery, people being brought to the Americas and that sort of thing. Yeah, it was big. But I think many of them understand that in the great grand scale of things, if you're looking at the entire history of Africa, it's a blip. It's not even a blip, it's a tiny segment. And we as diasporans, as people that have come from descendants of slaves, I mean, we are at a point now where we need to either deal with the trauma one way or another, or just pass it on to our children and try and take away, detach ourselves from the emotional aspect of what happened to us. Because I think it's those emotions that's that's making us struggle. It's making us do all these crazy things to each other, um, making us go to war against each other and all sorts of things. So I truly believe that we do need to unite. That is right. We do need to unite, but we can't keep our eyes off the ball. That doesn't mean that the people who are coming over to Africa are all good. Of course they are not. And those people, we need to keep an eye on those people, but keep our eyes on the criminals that are coming over. Keep an eye on those people who don't care about whether you buy your house in the Gambia. No, I want to use that money for my own home. So I will call myself as a solicitor. You know, I will go to the Gambia, even though I have no credentials to be a solicitor, go to the Gambia and I'll call myself a solicitor there in the Gambia and get to work. Why? Because I don't care about the African laws. I don't, and that's what's happening. It's a complete lack of respect coming from a lot of diasporans. Actually, no, that's a lie. Not a lot, right? But a few, we'll say a few, right? There are a few people who are over there that we cannot just have no oversight. Oh, just let them come in. They are one of us. They're from the diaspora. Don't treat them bad. We can't have that. We do need somebody to police them. Sometimes they can go undetected simply because, you know, resources are scarce, especially in small countries like the Gambia, for instance, because I've been doing a lot of
I
work
say,
there in the Gambia.
you know, in my video, um, I said that we needed people like you. You know, I'm quite sure you said you watched the video, because I
I remember.
believe that sometimes, you know, exposure is a good thing, and sometimes we could take it as negative, and we can look at it like, you know, you're under attack. But I understand why people feel that way about you. Number one, you have the name, okay, and so that in itself, people are confused with. And then when you're doing these reports on the brothers and sisters, I mean, for me, I'm like, you know what? Hey, all information is good information. You take it however which way it comes. Those may not like it when you sit there and do reports on them, but it's good information for those, like you said, you have been bringing stories to those that you say that you've been doing some research and you find this information to it doesn't jive right what they're telling them. Some are saying they're like attorneys, they're not, or there are those who have been fired from positions that they, because of their own corruptions, or they're misleading, misguiding people in a way and taking monies and all that right there. I don't have any problem with you doing reports like that at all. I mean, I don't have no problem with you, because I believe that if that's your channel, that's your channel. But I do have concerns though, because the question for me is that, and I'm going to quote some of the things you said, because there again, you know, I look at your videos and I'm going to go back and see your story. You say you're pro-black, okay, and you do these reports on the brothers and sisters, um, but then on the other hand, you're married to a woman who you out of your mouth said is white for all intents and purposes. This is a quote what you said. And so people are like, hold up, this guy's married to a white woman. This guy here is, you know, the unapologetic negropean. He is going hard on the brothers and sisters going into the diaspora. He's against the movement. This guy is, who is this guy? This guy's a sellout. And so I understand the complaints and I hear them. So what do you have to say about that when it's you're trying to expose people who are in this corrupt area, but your focus is just on the brothers and sisters and ignoring the other races of people. And yet, when we add one and two and three together, we see you're married to a white woman living in Switzerland. I think it's Switzerland. You are doing reports on brothers and sisters. I mean, please share.
Okay, so I believe that was a video from quite some time ago, and I believe in that video I tell people that you would identify her as being white, as Caucasian. Um, she doesn't. She doesn't identify herself as being white. This is so I was looking at it from the point of view of somebody that would just see her in the street. So that's what I was saying
What is your
about that.
nationality? What is your wife's nationality?
Excuse me.
What
Sorry.
is she called? What do you call her nationality?
Well, she's Swiss, but that's not her background. But I'm not going to go into her background.
Well, I already know what you said on your video. You said she's
Okay, you can
half
say it then.
Turkish. Yeah, she's half
Uh,
Turkish.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But you see, I mean, this is where, and this is a part of the problem of what we have. I said once again her nationalities, but that doesn't say her ethnicity or her race. So,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
so just like in Africa, you have there are other videos as well that are made about this. There are many different races in Africa, right? I mean, we don't just have one monolithic black race in Africa, right? So I was more trying to tell people about her background who wouldn't really know about her background, and know about that part of the world, the Balkans, Greece, that type of place, Cyprus, where you have people who have substantial admixture from both the Middle East and Africa, the real North Africa, not the Arab North Africa that we know today, Nubian North Africa. So a lot of people don't understand, especially Americans. I've got to say this, especially Americans, but a lot of Europeans too. They just think Europeans white, but the Kini people in northern Finland and the Portuguese people are completely different people. They don't even look the same, okay? But they would be just pasted with a brush and say, look, you're European, you're white, you know. But it's just not the case. So that's answering that. I can't remember the rest of the question. What was you saying?
Well, I mean, as far as
okay. Sorry, yeah. Do you want me to finish off? I remember what you were saying now.
Go ahead,
so you were
go ahead,
saying that basically people were looking. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So so basically you were saying that people were putting 2 and 2 together, but people are putting 2 and 2 together from what they are hearing from the internet. They are not actually doing their due diligence. They're listening to some pretty ridiculous people out there and taking their information as fact when they should be doing their own research.
Like what? Like what, James? Like what? They're taking from the internet.
Like who or like what?
Like what are the people taking from the internet?
Like saying that my wife is white. Okay, just saying that is the case. Without actually doing the homework themselves and looking back at my earlier videos, which actually explains.
You showed a picture of your wife. I mean, you did show the picture of your wife and all that on one of your videos. You did.
I think I do. Yeah. I'm not sure.
You did.
Is it still there? Okay.
It's still there. Yeah.
It's an old video. It's an old video.
Yeah.
But it is there. Yeah.
Would you consider her black?
I don't. I mean, once again, if you look back in those older videos, I actually tell myself I'm not going to be using these words anymore. I don't think that there is such a thing as a black race. You know, I think most of us in the diaspora, I think we tend to be Bantu, right? We're a type of people that come from that region of Bantu speaking people, and we pretty much have the same phenotype, and I think it's stretched from northern Tanzania all the way over to, and we moved to the west, so parts of Cameroon and that part there, and then you have the Kushites. The Kushites don't look like us, but in America Kushites are called black. Not Nubians. Let's just say the Khoisan in South Africa. If a Khoisan man went over to America, it'd just be called black, because America's history, the way they teach people about races and everything. And this is no offense to you as an American.
I'm not American, so I mean, you don't offend me, so I'm good with it.
Brilliant. Congratulations. No, I'm only joking. No, I didn't know that. So, but yeah, it's no offense to Americans, but they do have it all wrong. They've simplified it to the point, simply because racism was used very structurally over in the United States, especially when it came to us black people. So black and white, Asian, that's it. Simple. It was chicken and chips. And that's the way people, simple-minded people, were able to get along back in the day. And it's morphed into what we see today. I lived in New York. I see the way all the white people live in Staten Island, all the black people live in Brooklyn and the Bronx. It's ridiculous. We don't have anything like that in Europe. Well, I say that
I don't know.
begrudgingly.
There's a
Yeah, we
lot of
have it
people,
in.
man, leaving the UK talking about the prejudice and the biases that they've went through. I mean, blacks, for instance. I mean, many people are familiar with them. That the horrific prejudices and the issues that y'all go dealing with over there. But you said something interesting though, because I mean, you've been on YouTube for about 8 months, you said, right?
Mhm.
And you said something in your video with Vanessa Cam about Vanessa Camby. This is
Yeah,
what you said right here. You said, I
yeah,
don't think that we should teach African natives to be more trusting of white people, even if you're in an interracial relationship with a white person. I think Africans should know how sinister white Europeans can be so they can make more informed decisions about them.
yeah,
Now that was a quote from you, you know.
yeah.
And so when I'm hearing this and I'm like, I'm scratching my head, I say, okay, okay. He says he's pro-black. He says, about the white man. And then you got on the Chinese man. I'm like, hold up, he has an issue with Chinese people too. Okay, all right. So you say here that you don't see black as a race, or you don't look at it nowadays like that. But from your videos, you do point out the Chinamen, the Arabs, whether it is the Indians, how they have come into Africa to find their mark and look down upon a people, as you said when you were in Gambia
Hmm.
and you saw how
Hmm.
the Arabs were. Do you
Hmm.
still believe those things, or you have
Yes.
a change of?
No, 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 no. I've always, but I still believe those things, and you can't, this is through experience, right? It's not something I've just, seen on the internet. A lot of the experiences that I experienced in Africa, I experienced before the internet existed. Okay, so it was, uh, I when the first time I was in the Gambia back in the 90s, I had I was almost finessed by an Indian man, a rich Indian man who was a landowner there in the Gambia, who wanted to sell me land um, in the form of timeshares. So he wanted to sell me half the land and then keep the half the land himself or something like that. There were no. I'm sure there were African Americans over there, but there weren't any over there at that time. We weren't like that. We had the people that were moving over there from the diaspora were good people. We had good people moving there, and you can look around today. I mean, if you're in Africa, if you go to West Africa, you can see a lot of the old school guys that moved from the United States, that moved from Jamaica, that moved from the England to England 30 years ago, who are still living there today. How good are those people? We're not having those quality of people moving there anymore. We have, I mean, we do, but they're being marred at this moment by a handful of people who need to be stopped. And that's essentially where my channel has taken me now. It's taken me to a point now where, hey, let's use this channel for some good. Let's try and get these people, let's get the diasporans to know what types of people are over there and why they shouldn't be trusted. Because a lot of people are just handing out tens of thousands of dollars to fellow diasporans who are living in Africa, in West Africa, without knowing that there is absolutely no oversight with these people. Then they take money and they use it as they will because there is no oversight. There is no department in Africa that is taking care of um, NGOs, newly set up NGOs. This is the same way this, I forgot her name, the European lady that went to the Congo, started operating on these babies and killed a load of babies. It's the same way she was able to get away with it. They can do that there. And they feel like they can do that there. People feel like they can move to Africa and just disrespect the people and tread on them. And there are a lot of continental Africans who are now revolting. They are saying enough is enough. They don't want this. They don't want it from anybody, no matter what the skin color, whether it's the Chinese, the Lebanese, or even their fellow diasporans. They don't want them coming back and using them and saying that they're going
But
to take their land and this, that, and the other.
you know, James, I mean, I feel you on that. I mean, like I said, anybody who's taking advantage of anybody. I mean, one of the problems we have, I think, and I'm saying we in America, is we've become complacent against wrongdoings, shady type of deals, and snitches get stitches. Nobody talks when they see crimes committed. You know, you got people who are being violated in their own families, and everybody remain quiet and allow that person to go on and continue on, and everybody wants to remain silent. So I know that there should be those who are exposed when it comes to those type of things. I'll be the first one to raise my hand. I did video of, like I said, whether it was, people were inquiring about from me, are the Bag family, Art Kathy, and, Black Sid and them, are they credible? Are they this and that? I just put my take on it. I don't know those people personally, and I keep telling people this right here. We need to stop trusting other people in handling business affairs, especially if they're strangers or in foreign lands. Now, if people want to go do that, that's their business. But the one thing that stands out on your channel, James, and I went through a lot of all your videos, I didn't see one video of you doing any reports on, okay, since you're focused on Gambia, white people, the people coming from UK who's involved with sex trafficking or sex slavery, or um, the Chinaman who comes in and, who we see these reports out here that are beating Africans or mistreating them as employees, or I haven't seen any videos of any other group of people except for our own that you want to do reports on. What's your response
Mm.
to that?
I mean, once again, these people they're not acting in a way that we will be surprised about. You understand? I think that if a Chinese man has come over to Africa, right, and they are mistreating workers, that is something that I truly believe that continental Africans can deal with it themselves. They have the ability, they have the power, they have the knowledge, right? If you look at groups like the economic freedom fighters, they're not just in South Africa now. They have filtered right throughout the continent, and
Come on,
um,
James, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Answer my question, man. Come on, man. you don't
what
come
are you saying? Why am I not going after the other people?
exactly. Why aren't you
I,
doing a
I,
footage
I,
on?
I'm answering your question.
Okay.
You should know that. People should know that. But the fact is that, um, um, and I'll say this, and I didn't really want to say this, but there are certain things that we can do on YouTube, certain things that we can run around and shout about and make a big difference, when it comes to people, especially when it comes to white collar crimes like these financial crimes. But when it comes to things on the ground, you need to be on the ground, like the things that you're saying, you need to be on the continent in order to deal with that sort of thing. And it's all about power structures, it's about political power and political will to change policy to make sure that Africans are not mistreated by the foreigners coming in. You understand? The fact is that I'm a diasporan. I would love to move to Africa one day. You have diasporans who are moving to Africa right now. You have diasporans who are living in Africa, and a lot of us, not a lot of them, some of those diasporans are 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 essentially, they're using their cloak and dagger type maneuvers to take money from people. Okay, that is something that I can make substantial change with my YouTube channel. But I can tell you this now: if there is other things in the works that I can't really chat about in YouTube right now and, and blast to the world, in terms of security, especially security for me and my family. It's better if I do some things covertly, and that's pretty much what's happening right now.
So are you
So I would.
saying are you saying you gonna stick with the exposing of black folks and keep it kind of quiet with the white folks because of the security of you and your family? Is that the direction you're saying you would rather?
No, 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 no. What I'm saying
Okay,
is that when it comes to what a lot of the what some of the Europeans are doing, when it comes to underage sex tourism, that sort of thing, pedophiles and that sort of stuff, I can't talk about that on YouTube. It's simply too much of a security risk. Red flags go up once you start organizing things and then start talking about it on YouTube. So you know, like I said, I'm gonna, I've got children and I love children, and it really hits home when I hear about some of these stories. There's no way I'm just letting these people go scot free. Okay, then knock yourself out. There needs to be some sort of structured, consistent, um, um, grassroots, um, bricks and mortar organization there that is always going to be there, right? That works along with international agencies that helps bring these people to justice. And if they are not brought to justice by these organizations, the people of that country must bring them to justice. And it's one of those things, you know, we, like I said, the African continentals, they can deal with these people, but they need better information going to them, and it's difficult for me to get that whilst I'm not on the continent.
Well, I'll tell you this right here. And yeah, you have every right to direct your channel in whatever way that you so choose to. You know, I mean, these are just questions that I wanted to bring up to you because sad to say, and you can look at my videos. I had the Chinamen talking about them Chinese people, you know, what they're doing in Africa. I got videos of the white people, you know, I've done on brothers and sisters there in Africa. I have, you check my videos out, you're gonna see across the board. I don't care. But let me ask you this right here, because you know, you mentioned that, you know, you've married outside of an African race, or if you will, the African culture, what have you. You know, you may mention even in your video that even your sister's married to a white man. You did say your brother hate white people because of the past and the issues he went along with. And so I was like, what is that? I mean, is it the influence of being in the UK? And are you aware maybe that you might be behaving or doing a direction because of your past experience with the US being deported? Maybe you are doing something unbeknownst to your own knowing
No,
that I'm hitting these African Americans up because hell, they kicked me out of the country. Definitely much love and peace, joy, happiness to each all. Until tomorrow, good night.